Hello everybody and welcome back to part 3 of my tour of B-Fun's Ragnarok Resort. My base, well, my main base anyway, I got a few, here on the Ragnarok server hosted by BLP. Okay, so I know it's been better than 2 weeks now since I put up part 2, so apologize for the delay. But a lot's been going on, both in real life and here on the server, but mostly here on the server. The most notable thing was the big update to the desert biome about a week or so ago. So as you can imagine, we all rushed down and checked that out. It's very cool. And in particular, in that new region down in the southwest corner of it, there's a little area in this canyons and pinnacle area where you can snap tree platforms to rock features now. So that's very cool. And oh, excuse me. And a bunch of us here on the server decided we would do a little community build down there. So that the idea there is we're each going to take a platform and also include on it something that's an asset to the community. So I was pretty preoccupied with that 4 or 5 days. I wanted to get my operation up and running in anticipation of it being useful for others as they get established. And then there was another thing I wanted to do here before I recorded. So I got that done. It took me another day or two, and then about that time, we got another little update from Eco this time, which she added a couple of things to her RP to core mod. And as it turns out, those things were just made to order for me here at the resort and allowed me to build something here I've been wanting to do for a long time, but never really had the right components, either in vanilla or in any of the mods up until her update, to be able to do that before. So, with that long-winded explanation, let's get to it. And we'll start here with a quick run back to look at this sign, which if you watched part 2, you will note has changed from just the swamp to now include the Ragnarok Resort Spa and the Swamp Cottage Guest Room, which are pretty much a dead giveaway for what I've been doing here the last week or so. So we'll jump on my girl and we'll run on back here. And once again, doing a little transition here from the rockscape of the cave to, and we'll run over here to park and see if I can back up here for the big reveal to my very own lush green swamp biome back here in this little corner of the cave. Okay, so we'll start here in this pergola from Eco. This is from her garden decor mod. If you're not familiar with it or you've never used one, it's a very cool little item. You craft it up in her workstation, and then you can plop it down pretty much like any other foundation. And then once you do, you can snap things into it. So just as I've done here with some furniture, and of course fireplace, so as to create another little spot here in the cavern where my guests can get away from the noisier areas and have a little quieter, relaxing time in a completely different environment. And then out the back here, we jump onto this little boardwalk, which takes us on down to the swamp experience, as I'm calling it, and also to the new hot spring spa and the swamp cottage guest room. So this is a little back area of the cave here with this little shallow pond in it. It's knee deep. And I wasn't sure what to do with this for a long time, but then we got the big swamp update a couple of months back, and I think that was probably my inspiration for doing this. I really like the swamp, but you know what? It is really dangerous over there. Besides the leeches and the swamp fever and any of the other perils that await you down there, it's not a place you want to hang out unprotected. So I had the notion to build my own little swamp experience for my guests here at the resort, where they can get a feel for what that's like without worrying about getting eaten while they're looking around. So out here we got a little center area kind of out in the middle where you can watch the activity around you. And I do have a little bit of activity, but I got them all on pause for a moment because they get in the way sometimes. But I got 4 frogs, and it's hard to see them, but there's 3 Dimetrodons down there. And I'll probably add a few more things, maybe a capro, just for fun. And then over here we got a little comfortable seating area under this little rock overhang. And then a little further down here, I've made this little, it's kind of like a little group seating area where several people can sit and maybe have a little meeting. And then all the way down here at the back, we come to the Ragnarok Resort Hot Spring Spa. So thanks to Eco's update a few days ago, we got this cool shower head, which, as you can see from all the steam, now allows me to tap into the hidden hot springs here in the cavern. And being Ark, where we are frequently running around in our underwear, modesty is not an issue, so it worked to do a nice open air unisex shower area. And then with another one of these pergolas of hers, and this cool new addition, the tub, I'm able to finally make a proper spa here at the resort. So let's see, speaking of underwear, let me strip down to mine so I can give you a proper demo. You can hop in these things and, oh, isn't that nice? Oh boy, I wish I could do the rest of the tour just from right here. Oh, so relaxing. All right, so we'll hop out of there and let me put my clothes back on. And of course, no spa would be complete without massage. So I built this little massage table. And of course, we have our masseuse over here ready to ease your aching muscles after a hard day of pursuing or being pursued by dinosaurs. And then she also added this little decoration here, which did a nice job of rounding out the look here of my hot spring spa here at the resort. Okay, and then a little further down here, we come to my other new addition, which is the Swamp Cottage. Way up there. So let's run on up these stairs. And the first thing we come to is a little viewing platform I put a little higher up here with a glass balcony, so you can get a nice clear view looking down at pretty much the whole swamp, little mini swamp. And then got a little seating area back here, up in the limbs of the tree. And then for my guests here at the inn that prefer a more rustic and secluded stay while they're here, I built the Swamp Cottage all the way up here in the treetops. So we got a nice little spot to sit out here on the balcony and read a book, have a cup of tea under this ivy canopy going up here. And then just a basic room with a fireplace, of course, and some simple furnishings. And a nice bed. And it's got its own little balcony. Take in the view. And to round out that cottage feel, I went with a thatched roof. I really like the look of the thatched roof. And of course, being here in the cave, we don't have to worry about its strength, since there's nothing here of danger. And it looks like we got some luggage, so there must be somebody here, so we should probably get out of their room, stop invading their privacy, and head on back down the stairs. We'll wind our way back down and jump back on the boardwalk. And a little further down here, we got a couple more benches. And then up and over this bridge will take us back to where we started. So that's my little mini swamp biome back here in the corner of the cavern. Now I'm going to pause here because we're just coming on night. And these torches will all turn on in a minute. It looks really cool here in the evening. So I thought I'll just pause for a sec and I'll bring you back to show you what it looks like in the evening. And then I'll probably break again so we can wait till daylight and I'll finish the tour. So see you in a minute. Oh, so real quick, it's just about evening, but it started to rain, so I needed to run back down here by the fire because I was freezing. So I thought I'd show you real quick. For the last couple of weeks now, the temperatures are a little more extreme on the map now, and pretty much everywhere I've been, when it rains, it gets cold. You can see it's 22 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's well below freezing. So that's kind of cool. Makes good use of all the fireplaces I've placed down in all my builds. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. It's almost evening now, and I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, so it's just coming on evening here. So let's run around. Torches have all come on. And we'll take a quick look over here. Just show you how cool it looks in the evening with all of these lit cypress trees from Eco's mod and the torches. So maybe we'll do a quick run around here. I don't want to take too long as I need to get the rest of the tour done. But looks very neat. The swamp looks really cool too. I mean the spa. Alright, so with that, I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee and wait until morning, and then I'll finish up the tour when the sun comes up. So we'll see you back here in a few minutes. Alright, so day has returned to Ragnarok, and I got my coffee back there, and I have one in real life as well. So let's get back on the tour. So we'll jump on my girl here, and it's raining. And we'll head on out. So real quick, right back here is a little pocket that has a couple of the metal nodes here in the cave. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride all the way around to the back of the cave here and on up to the mid-level, which will take us up to my metalworks and quarry, and then eventually on up to the inn there above us at the top of the stairs. So this little ride takes us around here past the water fountain and of course the Cavern Tavern. And my dino, very populated dino platform, and the wharf, and my taming and breeding center, and on up the stairs around the back of the tavern over here to my workshop and greenhouse. And then right over here is a couple metal nodes that I mentioned in the last episode, but they had not respawned at the time, so that's where they are. And also I just a couple days ago put in a wind generator. So for the last few weeks, we've noticed that the wind appears to be everywhere on the map now. But one thing that's kind of cool here on Ragnarok, they're doing it differently than Scorch. Rather than be a fixed percentage for a given area, the wind actually fluctuates speed over time. And the wind generator turns at different rotation speeds according to that wind speed. So that's kind of cool. And here's another one of the metal nodes, one of the richer ones here in the cave. And then, as I mentioned, I think in the first episode, if you really want to have easier access up here, a couple of ramps are advisable. So I put those in order to get my Anki up and down here to harvest. So I still got my original forges over there. And then, of course, the industrial forge, which I tucked back as far as I could to keep it out of sight, since it's huge and a bit unsightly. And then, although we're in the cave and I don't really need this little hut, I just kind of like the look of it. So this houses a couple of crafting tables and a smithy for big projects that I'll do up here rather than try and haul all that metal down. And then I can access the forge there through the window if I need to get in and out and I don't want to use the pull function. And then around the back of these rocks is 3 more of the metal nodes here in the cave. So there's about 10 metal nodes altogether, 10 or 11. And it's not a huge amount, but if you harvest them with regularity and you have a decent Anki, it's actually a pretty good supply of metal. And if it's not, there's actually a lot around the cave, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. And then if you look down below me there, you'll see a little bit of scraps of wood. So I think there's a couple of places in the cave where you can pick up wood like that. It's very little, but in a pinch, it's some. You don't have to go outside. But the one thing there's no shortage of here in the cave is stone, as you can see. It's all over the cave. Both stuff you can just pick up and harvest with a pick or with a doty. Now I actually find that there's enough stone here that I've just harvesting this with my Anki when I'm up harvesting metal has provided for me just about all the stone I need here in the cave. Well, since I've been on the map, so so it's pretty good supply. All right, so that's my metalworks and quarry. And then that ramp right there takes us on up to the back of the main ramp that comes in from the entrance that you would have seen in episode 1 where I have those 2 directional billboards. And that brings us around at long last to the Waterfall Inn, finest lodging in all of Ragnarok, if I don't make that claim myself. And this sign here advises us that we should go check in with the concierge at the lobby, so we'll do that. And let's just take a little look as we walk on by at the cabins. Alright, so we'll tie my girl up here at the hitching post. And start the tour of the inn. So some more of my edible landscape I put in originally, and then I've supplemented it with some of Eco's cool trees. And we got one of her little water fountains here. And this hanging ivy is kind of neat too. I don't know how much of a frame rate this stuff hits us with, but we've been checking some of that out lately, and it's interesting results. I'll probably do something on later. I got a little RG here. It's my little mini RG here, greeting my guests as they come in. Hey, buddy, who is thankfully silent. And then we got the concierge here. Hey, buddy, another one of my faithful Jerboa employees. And it looks like someone's checking in or out with a 45 slots worth of luggage. And then I got a little main seating area here for my guests. They can catch up on their reading, or looks like the island there they can study up on if they're going to be heading over there soon. And over here we got a little fireplace nook with the cool anglerfish trophy up there. And of course you got to have a war map. And then upstairs I put in a little loft area with yet another little fireplace area. And I guess a card table. And then down here under this nice whole glass, whole side of the lobby that's glass, is a nice view of the waterfall, is our my little eating area here, a little dining area. So it looks like someone's having a coffee and muffin. Now, I'm curious what any of you guys think. I'm thinking about changing this out for the S Plus clear glass so the view's a little bit better. When I first built this, this glass used to be a little clearer, but then they did an update that made a much stronger reflection, which, amusingly enough, is always an outdoor landscape if you look closely, no matter where this is. You know, I don't know, but I kind of like the modeling, actually, of the greenhouse glass, and it is my original build, but it would be cool to have a really clear view. So yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe I'll change that out. Okay, so around the back here, in yet another one of these pergolas, or pergola, I guess it's pronounced pergola, but I seem to struggle with that one for some reason. I use this to put in a kitchen here for the inn. So idea here is it's, you know, staff kitchen, and guests are welcome to use it as well. Got some water and Eco's cooker, and of course you gotta have a dye pot in case my guests want to dye their clothes or do a little painting while they're here, and some storage, and a little bit more, and an ice box. So these are pretty cool, these pergolas. I'm really enjoying them. I wasn't sure at first, but you can do a lot of stuff with them. They're kind of cool. And this just I lucked out on. This fit perfectly here. I had not planned that, but it worked out very well. So I think it was the last episode, yeah. I mentioned that I have a chalet up in the snow that Monkey Puzzle joined me, and we did a big adventure setting that whole thing up. And oh, by the way, and I think I mentioned in that video that he did a 4-part series on that. It was his, I thought it was his 14 through 17, but I went and looked again the other day, and it now says 15 through 18. So I don't know if he changed that or I got it wrong. But in any case, on the last episode that he did on that, one of his followers mentioned, asked the question, hey, where's the toilet? So the amusing thing is right after that, we got the update from Eco that included the infamous toilet. So that commenter's name was Mr. Smith. So Mr. Smith, if you happen to be watching this, this is for you. I did indeed put in a toilet here at the inn. Actually, this is the toilet for the entire resort at the moment. It's the only one I have. So yeah, try to do something nice. Little stained glass here to make your visit a little more enjoyable. And we've got, of course, got a sink so you can wash up. Some toiletries, and I guess I'll go ahead and give you the demo here in case you've never seen it. So you have your seat, and oh my gosh, you do your business, and then when you're done, you flush the toilet, and you get a bag of fertilizer. So I think I am going to put one of these up at the chalet, because I do have a greenhouse up there, and often a shortage of fertilizer, so that might actually come in handy. And then we'll run back around the front here to the balcony. And oh, let's just, over here, you can see the top of the stairs. It take us up and down from the plaza level. And then over on this end, I put a little, just a little balcony for a little viewpoint with some glass that you can see out around you easily. The rest of the cavern here. And then this little walkway takes us over to the cabins. So I started a little tradition, if you will, early on. Thought it might be fun to dedicate names to the cabins after some of my famous guests that have stayed here. So I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, right down to the color scheme. So each cabin has, of course, a table and chairs, and it has a mortar and pestle in case my guests want to do a little grinding while they're here, and a little snack tray to make some snacks for themselves. And then we have preserving bin in each one, which I suppose I should call a mini bar, given it's a hotel. And of course, fireplace, and a comfy couch, and some storage, little wall decorations here. And each cabin has a balcony with a fairly unobstructed view of the waterfall, which is really nice. And then, as promised, on the sign up at the front, every cabin has its very own shower. So this is my original solution here, back when we were vanilla. I think worked out pretty well. Now I could upgrade these to the new shower head, and I have done that in the last cabin. But I quite like the original solution I came up with. Plus, this does allow you to have water, and you can drink and fill your water bottles from it. So that's kind of cool. You can't do that with the shower head. And then upstairs, another little remodel I did from when I originally built this after we got the mods was to push the back of this little loft out. It was originally, that wall right there came straight up. So I added another ceiling width to make a nice size loft bedroom here in order to accommodate these nice but large beds from Eco, and some furnishings. And that also gave me a little retreat in each of these cabins. So that's kind of cool. So we'll head on down to cabin number 2, which was where my very first ever guest stayed, and that was BLP, who professed at the time to be a fan of the movies, the Underworld series of movies, so that name kind of stuck. So same layout, a little bit different. I changed up the furnishings a little bit, and color schemes a bit different, but otherwise the same. And then the last cabin down here is a little bit different. Being my cabin, or at least the one I stay in usually, I did a little bit more deluxe treatment, and also dedicated this one to a couple of my Aussie friends here on the server, who, namely Kimmy and her daughter Laura, who've helped me out on several occasions and are frequent visitors here at the resort. And when they do, they usually stay here. So for this cabin, I also pushed this wall out a bit, which was surprisingly tricky to get this to all come together, but eventually I did, and that created a nice little alcove here for a little bit larger seating area and a bigger table. And then of course fireplace, and got myself a little fish trophy, and a little water wall fountain, and some storage. Oh, and it's a picture of my 2 favorite bears from my single player. They live over on the island. And then because I have a little bit more room because of that alcove, I was able to put in a second entrance here for the balcony, and a little touch of stained glass. And then for the shower, as I mentioned, I did upgrade to the other shower head, which, as you can see, allows me once again to tap into the hot springs here. But I didn't want to lose the functionality of that water tap, so I just moved it down to the floor here, so I can still drink and fill water bottles. And then upstairs, same arrangement, but I added some nice stained glass all the way across for a cool looking skylight. So real happy with the way this one came out. And then all the way down at the end here, guests can come on down and enjoy a little sit in front of this, or under this really nice sakura tree from Eco. Adds a nice bit of color to the cave, I think. And then for my adventurous guests that like to swim and want to have a little thrill doing it, I put in this gate here so they can do the plunge. So with that, let's put on my scuba gear and we will do just that. All right, here we go. Ah, boom. All right. So we got a pretty big pool here, you can see. Let me just gamma up, because with these masks on, it's a little dark. All right, that's better. And just happen to have a shark here at the ready, so we'll hop on my shark here, and we'll take a little tour of the underwater areas of the cave. So this is the back pool, obviously, and there's a couple little spots down here. It's pretty deep. Now, I haven't found anything of interest down there, but over in this little pocket here, which I kind of showed you in the first episode, is some crystal and obsidian. And there's a little bit more obsidian out here, right there. And then there's a tunnel here that takes you under the plaza and out to the front pool. So they connect through that. That's pretty cool. You can have dinos all the way at the back if you want and get them in and out. You can see I got a squid here, and I got a couple of basilos up there and some more sharks and dolphin. So that kind of gives you a reference just how big this area is. You could house a lot of water dinos in here. So that's why I said this is such an awesome cave base all the way around, no matter what kind of tames you have. So this little rock there is actually that island in the middle that I built the jungle island bar at. And at the back of that is a couple more crystal nodes. And then let's run on out the front here. This is the channel that takes us out to where you can get access to the sea. So as I mentioned, I put in this dino gate here, this behemoth gate, and I put it on a couple of foundations up so that it would both touch the ceiling and give me some room below the top of it in order to get rafts in and out. And then over on the side, there's a little bit of a gap. You just fill in with a couple of, with some walls, and that seals it all off. So it's really simple to do. And we'll head on out here. And then this is kind of like a broken up lagoon out here. But around this side is where you can bring in either your rafts or your tames. It's navigable by either. Now, you do have these little logs crossing over in a couple of places, so you kind of have to break those up first if you have people or tames on your raft, otherwise they'll knock you off. So we'll head on out this little channel, and you can see this takes us out to the, well, I don't want to call it the ocean because I don't think it's salt water, but the sea. Yeah, so that's how you get in and out. Okay, so I'm going to head on back. I won't keep you for that. I will pause and bring you back when I get back to the tavern. See you in a few. Oh, and I almost forgot. You can see here there's a bunch of metal out underwater here. So I came out with an Anki just the other day and harvested all the metal up and down this channel and came back with like over 4,000 metal. So there's quite a bit right out here, which is very cool. Okay, see you in a minute. All right, so I think that pretty much wraps up the tour of my base and resort here in this fantastic cavern on Ragnarok. At least what I've built here so far. There might be a couple other things I have in mind to do here, just in case my frame rate isn't low enough already. But I'm going to put those way down the list since there's a whole bunch of other stuff I want to get to on the map first. Not the least of which is to get back down to the new desert area where we have the little community platform village going. Some things I want to finish up there and show you what we're up to. And then I'm really anxious to get back over to the Desert Islands area where I previously staked out a little spot after that update. Something I think could be interesting, certainly probably going to be challenging and fun. So I'm anxious to do that as well. And then I want to get back up to the chalet, and besides putting in the aforementioned toilet, probably doing a little addition up there. And then there's a kind of an adventure related to that I probably should do first, since if it pans out, it might help me out on some of these other builds. And then I got a cool restaurant I built down in the Red Rocks and some outposts around the map. Oh my gosh, there's just a whole list of things yet to do here on Ragnarok. We are just loving this map. It's been an ongoing adventure for 7 or 8 months now for me, and a lot more yet to come. So look forward to all of that. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or suggestions or requests or just comments, please leave them down below. I always look forward to seeing what you guys have to say and answering your comments. So once again, I want to thank all of you for watching all the way through. I really hope you enjoyed my tour, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.